Make sure this tweet is up. Sure this is on. All right. YouTube! Turn this TV off. Turn this TV off. Hey, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off. Hey, we back. How y'all doing, man? This is your boy Aaron.
It's Brian
We are the
with the new nose.
podcast. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna speak on that, but yeah, man, new and improved. Back to where we were before, but now it's week 12. We've been gone for a little bit, but we are back better than ever, and we are reacting to week 12 of the NFL season. A lot of movement has been happening in NFL, and I'm talking about, for games and stuff. Just looking at the standings right now, we have if it'll load up. So for the standings, the current standings, we have Kansas City is the number 1 seed, Buffalo's number 2, Pittsburgh is 3, Baltimore. Hold on, let me look at the division because they're just showing the overall records. Buffalo is 1 in the AFC East. Pittsburgh is leading the division in the AFC North. Houston in the AFC South. Kansas City in the AFC West. We have the NFL, NFC. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at 9-2. In lead for the NFC East, we have the Detroit Lions, 10-1 record, best record in the NFC. But in the NFC North, they're obviously leading the division. NFC South, we have the Atlanta Falcons at 6-5, leading the division. And then lastly, in a tight race, NFC West, Seattle Seahawks at 6-5. Man, a lot of shuffling going on, and we got a lot more reshuffling in the near future because the Ravens and the Steelers, you never know with them. The Chargers, you never know. Texans, Texans, they're going to remain probably. That division is pretty much taken care of. But like the Denver Broncos, the Chargers, possibly the Miami Dolphins, maybe the Indianapolis Colts, and then you have the NFC. You have the Seattle Seahawks. You have the Arizona Cardinals potentially. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have an outside chance. Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, you can't count them out. And yeah, that is the outlook of the standings right now. Now, I want to talk about week 12, and a lot has happened. I want to talk about first your team versus the Commanders. Now, we don't really need to discuss too much on the Cowboys side. I mean, y'all are pretty much handicapped. You don't have Dak Prescott. A lot of stuff is going on with the Cowboys that we really don't need to discuss at this moment because it's a lost season for you guys. I want to discuss the Commanders, specifically the offense, because over the past month, the offense has slowly declined. And each week, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. This is a common theme when it comes to the offensive coordinator and his history when he was with the Arizona Cardinals as the head coach. And I'm talking about Cliff Kingsbury. Around November, around December, around January, when it gets cold outside, for whatever reason, Cliff Kingsbury's offenses have declined. And it's happening again with the Commanders. I was watching film, Brian, and I'm going to speak on the Cliff Kingsbury side first. Just the play designs, the concepts. I'm confused. Number one, why is Noah Brown? Why are they designing plays for Noah Brown as if he's the number 1 option on the team? I'm like, why is Jaden Daniels looking at Noah Brown like he's wide receiver 1? Like, why is that his first read almost every time down the field? I'm confused. And another thing I noticed is that whoever it is that's the first read for Jaden Daniels, it seems like every time Jaden Daniels had to stand in the pocket for a long time for the play to progress for the number 1 option, it seems like he struggles a lot, and that's not due to him necessarily. It's due to the play design. But when, let's say it's a play where they just asking Jaden Daniels to get the ball out really quick, and his number one option is a real quick read, it works. I'm just confused with just some of the play designs, the concepts, because there's no misdirection. It seems very easy to predict. The Cowboys seem like they knew almost every play. And that seems like a lot of the reason why the Commanders weren't able to get much going in the offensive end. And the offensive line was also getting cooked that game, partly because of Micah Parsons. He was dominating that game. But man, it was just a colossal disaster by the offense. What did you see from that game, if you've seen any?
Of course, I see. I was watching the whole game. Even though I wanted a team tank, so I wanted to lose, but
Yeah.
the Cowboys can't even lose, right? But whatever. The thing I find interesting about the Commanders' offense is that they started off slow, and they weren't looking like the Commanders' offense. Granted, the defense has stepped up and played pretty well against this offense. I mean, the score was 13-9 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Somehow ended up 34-26. Bunch of pandemonium just went down them last 5 minutes. But it seems like when they needed, like when they turned it on, the offense looked good.
Mm-hmm.
So where was the offense the previous 3.5 quarters? Is what I'm trying to figure out. Because all of a sudden you get all these chunk plays and splash plays and all that stuff when you about to lose, but when you had drive after drive after drive of opportunity, you couldn't capitalize on it. And as far as the Terry McLaurin thing goes, I know I'm a fantasy owner for Terry McLaurin. I was very upset until he caught that 80-yard touchdown towards the end of the game. But my thing with Cliff King, like he's been doing this since he was in Arizona. Like if you looked at D Hop's route tree or whatever on the chart for next gen stats, it was all on one side of the field. It was the same old goofy routes or whatever, stuff that you can easily guard. They're not scheming him open. Like I'm not seeing Terry going into motion. They snapping the ball in motion, and Terry's getting matchups with the linebacker in the middle of the field. Like CeeDee Lamb as Cooper Rush at QB, and he's still getting way more targets than Terry McLaurin. So I'm like, why isn't he scheming this dude open? Like it doesn't make sense to me. And it's not like they was able to run the ball efficiently or anything. Austin Ekeler got hurt, and then Brian Robinson he messed his. He had a little ankle injury earlier in the game, but he came back. But I don't know what's going on with Cliff King. I mean, I think you know what I think it is. I think teams got tape. They got tape. Not only on Cliff Kingsbury offense, also Jaden Daniels. He hasn't been playing as well as he used to play in these past, I'd say 4 weeks or so. Ever since that Chicago game, things been looking a little Well, actually, honestly, it's that rib injury. Things been looking a little But I think teams got tape now. They learned his tendencies. There's been times and times I'm watching Jaden Daniels, and the pocket may kind of break down, but it's not like, okay, I got to run for my life. It was once playing specifically, can't remember the quarter or what time is that, but the left side of the pocket kind of like collapsed, but the right side was pretty solid. If he just stepped out a little bit, he probably could have made a throw down the field, but he just immediately took off. I'm like, you in the NFL now, you kind of got to, you could have stayed there for at least another second. But yeah, I just think the command, they got to figure something out. They got to find ways to generate targets for Terry McLaurin. He's the number one dude with the current scheme they running. It's super easy to guard him on the routes that he's doing. Like and it doesn't even look like he's the first read most of the time.
No, it doesn't.
I'm rarely seeing like Jaden Daniels look to the left side of the field as his first read. It's like he's going right to left most of the time, and it's like, what are we doing here?
They don't move him around either. They just say, hey, just play on the outside and win your guy. Like, why not put him in motion? Why not put him in the slot? Like, they just have him in the outside. What do you expect him to do most of the time? You can't just expect him to just beat his man every time. Pause. Like, come on now. Like, come on, bro. I will say there was one play, and see, this is why I'm confused at why Cliff doesn't do more of this misdirection and actually be very innovative in his play call. So,
He wants to call screens. Wow.
bruh. So it was they scored on this play. I think it was to Zach Ertz, and it looked like my favorite play that I use in not Mad College Football 25. It's called Bunch Arches, where it frees up the tight end. It frees up the tight end, whatever, and it was very creative. Like it confused the Dallas defense. You could tell it had I think Noah Brown. I think he did like a slant, whatever, and then freed up um Zach Ertz, and he was able to get free into the end zone. And I thought that was a good play call. I don't understand why there's not more play calls like that are making the defense confused, opening up different receivers. It just seems like they just do the same stuff. Hey, we're just gonna have the quarterback come out and empty, and hey, you guys just win your matchups. Like, can we like make it easier for the quarterback? Can we make it easier for the receivers? Not, you can't just expect the receivers to just win their matchup every time. Can we just like have a creative play call? It just seems there's no creativity, there's no misdirection at all. And
I mean, you're
what
making
are
the
the Cowboys going to
defensive
do?
coordinator's job easy. I mean, we had so many injuries on that team. We had Josh Butler, who was known for TikTok more than football, playing outside corner. He had a heck of a game too. It's just like you're making your offense easy to scheme against, and you're
Yeah.
not utilizing your weapons properly.
I will say, Jaden Daniels, there were a bunch of throws that he missed.
A lot of those were low,
Especially,
in my opinion. I don't know what's up with that.
I think the first quarter, I think it may have been Zach Ertz where he missed a throw to Zach Ertz that would have been a big gain that would have got them to the red zone. You could argue that he didn't need to target Zach Ertz. I think maybe Terry was open or another receiver was open that he could have just threw the ball to, and it would have been a lot easier because that pass to Zach Ertz, it was a little difficult, but obviously you're in the NFL, you're a starting quarterback, you got to make that throw.
I
But
believe you're talking about it was a play where Zach Ertz, I think he beat his man up the sideline, I want to say.
yeah, it
And
was.
then I think Diami Brown was like running wide open across the middle of
Mm-hmm.
the field or something. So yeah.
Yeah. And I know he did beat his man, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a wrong read at all, but it was a lot more difficult throw, and he missed his man. And you're a starting quarterback. We expect a lot from you. You got to hit those plays. You got to hit those plays. You got to hit the pass, and he didn't. And there was some other plays where he just wasn't accurate at all with Zach Ertz on a couple of plays, and just had the wrong read. Like I remember there was this one play where he tried throwing it to Noah Brown on a streak, and I'm like, why? Like he's being guard. It's not like he just beat his man one-on-one. Like the corner was like 5 yards off. Like he's not gonna burn the Cowboys corner. Why are you trying to target him thinking he's like Mike Evans or somebody that's gonna win a 50-50 ball? Like you have another guy, I think maybe Zach Ertz was open on a crossing route. Like just throw it to Zach Ertz. Like he's open. What are you doing? And it's just some plays where you look at Jaden Daniels, you're like, man, like what are you doing? Like what was that decision? And like why couldn't you make that pass accurately? And that's what's frustrating about Jaden Daniels right now. It seems like he's resorting back to like week 2 Jaden Daniels, where he's just misreading, like he's not being as accurate as he needs to be. And that comes down to not just Jaden Daniels, but it comes down to Cliff Kingsbury. He has to make the game easier for him, and he's just not. And it's frustrating. And that's why this team, this offense has deteriorated the past month, is because they keep doing the same old and expecting a different result. And it's not going to happen. You got to adjust, and they're not adjusting.
Do you think it's fair to say that rookie of the year is looking a lot more open these days?
I think Bo Nix he's winning right now.
Mm.
He's winning. He's in the league right now. He's been far better than Jaden Daniels the past month. He's been getting better and better each week. Sean Payton, you got to give Sean Payton credit on this. He has, again, this is a process, right? So it's a process as a rookie QB. You don't want to put too much on the shoulders of the rookie QB. You want to ease them into the offense. And then once they start getting familiar, getting comfortable, then you can slowly start allowing them to do more, uh, feeding them more stuff that they can use for the offense. That's what you're supposed to do as a head coach. And Sean Payton, has it been the greatest rookie season for Bo Nix? Obviously not, but he's gotten so much better these past 4, 5, 6 weeks. And right now, in my
They're
opinion,
winning games.
I think he's in the lead for rookie of the year. He has 16 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. They're 6-5. The offense keeps getting better and better from the
They're 7-5.
7-5. Oh, wow. Yeah, they are 7-5. Wow, that's even better. That's even better, man. They just been doing great, and a lot of that has to do with Bo Nix. I didn't think Bo Nix would be this good. A lot of people didn't
Me
think Bo
either. I
Nix would
thought it
be
was
this good.
terrible.
But you got to remember what I said during the pre-draft process. I said this is one of the rare years where a lot of these quarterbacks that are in the draft are going to go to situations that aren't just god awful. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the worst situation in the world. Like, they can actually thrive in these situations. And it seems like so far I was correct in my assessment, minus Caleb Williams. Now Caleb Williams is playing a lot better because they finally changed the offensive coordinator. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of these rookie QBs, man, they just went to the right situation. Drake May, you can make a legitimate argument that the Patriots are god awful, but what did I say about Drake May? And I know I'm going
He's
on,
making it work.
I'm deviating away from the game, but I said about Drake May, I said the reason why the Patriots instead of the Commanders is a better situation for Drake May is because they're going to take their time with Drake May. They're not going to start him initially. They're going to allow him to sit and watch, and then when he comes in, he's going to have more knowledge. He's not going to feel as he's not going to feel like just like everything's on his shoulders and all the other stuff. And when you put a QB out there like week 1, they feel overwhelmed. So far, I don't think Drake May, the way he's playing, it doesn't seem like he's very overwhelmed at the fact that he's playing. And I think part of that is because they sat him for a few weeks. Let him watch, see how a professional in Jacoby Brissett plays the QB position. But then once he got in, he was fine. Is he playing the greatest? No, but he's a rookie. And I've seen flashes. I've seen what I need to see from Drake May. Now, he didn't play the best last week, but a lot of that has to do with just the talent and the situation around him. And I expect Drake May to continue to get better and better and better. And we've seen with all these other QBs, because of the situation, they keep getting better and better. Now, Jaden Daniels, again, to conclude this conversation in this game, Cliff Kingsbury has to do something. He has to make some type of adjustment. I think the biggest adjustment he needs to make is trying to, I don't know, move around Terry McLaurin a little bit more. Try to get Terry McLaurin involved a lot more, because he's your number one receiver. And if they continue to not do that, then you're just making it a lot harder for Jaden Daniels. And that's the problem. It's a good thing they have a bye week. I'll say that. They needed this bye week. Literally, they needed this bye week.
Actually, their bye week isn't until the week 14. They play the Titans this week.
Man,
the
man,
Titans
that is
ain't
terrible.
no slouch either.
That is terrible. Having a bye week 14, probably the worst. That is too late in the season. NFL is wrong for that. They are so wrong. But
the Ravens got a week 14 bye too.
Yeah, they are so wrong for that. That is it's like why at that point? Why have a bye week at that point? Like, the season's almost over. Like, I might as well just say, well, guys are already hurt. Everybody's already hurt. The bye week is useless now. Like, usually, the best time to have a bye week is the middle of the season.
I say week 8, 9 or something like that.
Between week 8 to week 10 is like the best time to have a bye week, because guys are hurt around that time. They need a week off. My Packers, perfect time, because Jordan Love looked a lot healthier. Guys looked a lot healthier. That's the perfect time to have a bye week. But week 14 is crazy. They hold them. They really hold them on that week. All right, let's move on to the next game on the docket. Matter of fact, I want to talk about, the AFC North. It's getting very interesting, Uh, Pittsburgh, they beat the Ravens a week ago. They were riding high. And then Thursday night came around and the Browns said, not today. Upset them. They upset the Ravens 2 weeks ago. It was snowing. That game was, I wasn't even going to watch that game, but then all of a sudden I see the Browns are winning, and then all of a sudden it starts snowing. I'm like, you know what? A snow game, division game, AFC North. The Browns are actually being competitive. Let me watch this game. And it actually turned out to be a really fun game.
Yeah.
And George Pickens, he crashed out at the end of the game.
Something wrong with that dude.
Bro, we already knew there was something wrong with him when during the draft he was wearing a freaking ski mask, staring at the TV all close up and stuff, standing like he about to do something. Like, we already knew there was something wrong with him. And they call him NBA Young Boy for a reason. So, anywho, the Ravens, they defeated the Chargers last night. No shock to me. I picked the Ravens to win.
I picked the Ravens too.
So I wasn't really shocked about that. I was very impressed with the Ravens and their execution in the second half. I was a little worried in the beginning of the game. I was like, oh, come on, Ravens. Y'all letting the Chargers just cook you like this. It was like 10-0 at one point, but Lamar Jackson was able to get it going. And then before the halftime, he threw a beautiful football to Rashad Bateman in the end. So that was an amazing throw. And Rashad Bateman, even a more amazing catch, because he had to like fight for position to get the ball at the end zone, and he was able to do it. Rashad Bateman's actually been playing pretty well this year.
Yeah, because he's finally healthy.
Right. And I think
he's not the guy no more.
Yeah, I saw something. I saw a stat where like he's one of the best at like getting separation.
I believe it.
Yeah, I saw a stat like that. So yeah, he's been really solid for them. He's not a Pro Bowl caliber receiver, but he's a good receiver for them. He's been very productive. Very productive. Lamar Jackson continues to be phenomenal. I think he had 3 total touchdowns this game. If whatever his stat was, he was great this game.
Yeah, and I think he had 2 in the air, 1 on the ground. Yeah,
he was dominant. MVP caliber performance against a really good Chargers team. I have to say this about the Chargers because I was never sold on the Chargers. I know they're 7-4, but I don't care how good your coach is. I don't care how good your quarterback is. I don't care how good your running game is. Your receivers got to catch the ball, and your receivers have to separate. And this was my big concern with the Chargers, is the fact that their receivers suck. What did I tell you about Quentin Johnston? He sucks. And we saw it on prime time yet again. He's still not good. He keeps dropping passes. Justin Herbert's throwing him the ball. Perfect footballs, like perfect passes. And he's just dropping them left and right. This was not a shock to me. I knew this was going to happen. Ladd McConkey is a dude. But besides Ladd McConkey, who else is there? There's nobody on that field that Justin Herbert can trust. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to your receivers got to make a play. And when you have receivers that are garbage, mediocre at best, and only one good guy, but he's a slot guy, this is what's going to happen. He doesn't even have a decent tight end. Like, he has a mediocre tight end core. Like, if he had a good tight end, they would have a way better chance. But he doesn't even have a good tight end. Like, everybody in the skill position stinks outside of Ladd McConkey. And this does not shock me. And the Ravens just dominated in the second half. What was your thoughts on the Monday night game?
I was investing in this game for multiple reasons. Because I just see it's a good matchup. Ravens Chargers. Chargers are they're doing much better than people anticipated with the new coaching regime and like you said, the lack of offensive weapons. You think all these guys ain't really making much noise, but they've been playing pretty successfully. The defense is really good. But but my thoughts on this game, I picked the Ravens because I just feel like they're just a better team right now. I feel like they played better comp, in my opinion, even though the Chargers had played the Chiefs and they played them pretty close, but so is the Ravens. But yeah, I just feel like the Ravens, they just like you said, what did I say? Most of the times you match up, I'm gonna pick the better dudes. And the Ravens got the better dudes. And it's just that simple. And the Ravens defense played pretty well. But the score, I believe, was 30 to
30-16.
30-16 before they got that touchdown at the end of the game. So the Ravens defense stepped up and played pretty well. Really kept them out of the end zone. Even though the Chargers had self-inflicted mishaps, Quentin Johnson had like 3 drops. I'm like, oh my goodness, this dude is terrible. But yeah. Yeah, man, I'm Lamar did his thing. I was kind of upset Derrick Henry, that touchdown got called back for fantasy reasons, but I ended up winning anyway. So crisis averted. But yeah, man, good win for the Ravens. I believe they got the Eagles next. So
Yeah. Woo! At home though, which is good. It is at home, but man, whoo, hopefully Roquan Smith can come back because
yeah, they
he's
gonna need
definitely
to
he's
because
definitely needed. Yeah.
yeah, to
Man,
stop
that
Saquon, and then
ooh.
you need all hands on deck. But yeah, man.
Real quick, because the AFC North is interesting. I was looking at the schedule for like the Ravens and the Steelers, and the Ravens, the 2 games they need to win, because I feel like they're going to win every other game. The Steelers and the Eagles, like they have to win those 2 games. If they don't win those 2 games, then they're not going to win their division. And I feel like in order for them to reach the Super Bowl, they have to win their division. You have to get home field advantage. And the Steelers, I think the Ravens can potentially steal this division away from the Steelers because the Steelers schedule is brutal. Like I think they have the Eagles, they have the Ravens, and they have I think the Chiefs as well. It's a brutal schedule.
Don't they still have to play the Bengals?
And the Bengals, yeah. They have a brutal schedule. So, whew. The Ravens can steal this division.
I think
They just
will,
have to win their
honestly.
games. They got to win their games. They got to win out. They have to win out. Like they have to beat they have to beat the Eagles. They have to beat the Steelers. Those are the 2 games on their docket that are difficult, that are coin flip. But luckily, they're going to be at home. So that's always going to help them. And if you keep giving Derrick Henry the ball, good things are going to happen. Give Derrick Henry the ball 20 times. Guess what? You're probably going to win most of the time. But if you give Derrick Henry only 14 touches, guess what? You're probably going to lose most of the time. So just invest in the run game. Don't go away from the best running back you've had in a very long time, and you'll win. It's about being physical. It's about establishing the run. And when the Ravens do that, I think they can't be beat. It's very hard for them to lose because you have Lamar Jackson, who's a great runner, and then you have Derrick Henry, who's a great runner. And I think late in games, when you have that monster of a running back, and he just pushing people aside, stiffing dudes, trucking dudes, it's gonna make them tired, make them not want to tackle him.
Business decisions will be made.
And that's why it's important to get Derrick Henry involved, because good things are going to happen most of the time when he's involved. And I think against the Steelers, I think Todd Monken is going to do a better job at giving Derrick Henry the ball, because the only way they're going to win is if Derrick Henry gets the ball a lot that game, because those type of matchups against the Steelers is going to come down to physicality, and who's the best running back when it comes to physicality? It's Derrick Henry. So, all right. I want to talk about the Texans, man. I know they played the Titans, but I want to focus specifically on the Texans. You mentioned it before. Bobby Slowick. The offense is predictable. The offensive line is just not good. It has just gotten worse since last year. CJ Stroud. We're going to get to CJ Stroud on the QB tier list, but he has not played good football for a lot of this year. He's been very mediocre. This game, he wasn't all that good. I think didn't he turn the ball over
2-2?
Man, sophomore slump.
And he ran out the end zone. He pulled a Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Sophomore slump. He just hasn't played all that well. I haven't seen
Ever
the
since that
film.
game against the Bears, where he tried to act like he was a vet or something,
Yeah,
things been going downhill for him.
literally. I haven't seen the film, so I can't really tell you too much on what exactly is wrong about this team. But I'll just let you speak on it. Just your thoughts on the Texans losing to the Titans.
I mean, from what I can see, the Texans defense, they are opportunistic defense. They aren't
Mm.
a we're going we're going to. They remind me
Carry.
of like
They
the
can't carry.
Cowboys defenses with Dan Quinn. They're
Okay.
opportunistic. They're not going to be like we're going to shut you down
Gotcha.
type defense. They're not the Chiefs defense or something like that.
Gotcha.
So they may get a lot of turnovers, they make plays on the ball, but they can be had at times because sometimes there's lack in coverage. Like that one play, I think to Westbrook, in
I think Calvin
Akine.
Ridley as
Yeah,
well.
that's Westbrook Akine. Yeah, he was wide open. It was like, how did that even happen?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like things like that. A lot of the time, those things happen to this defense. And on the offensive end, listen, point fact of the matter is, if Joe Mixon ain't getting going, the offense looks terrible. Point blank. Like Joe Mixon, he had what, 22 rushing yards on 14 attempts? I can do that.
Mm.
That is insane to me. And so now CJ Stroud's throwing the ball. He only had 33 attempts. It's not like he was throwing 50 passes, but he was turning the ball over the offensive line. They can't block anybody. Aaron, you could probably get a pressure against this offensive line at this point because it's terrible. And
It
Bobby Slowick, he just continues to commit to a bad game plan. Like literally, he's relying on CJ Stroud and Nico Collins to bail them out, drive after drive after drive. It is terrible. And the Titans were like, okay, all we got to do is they ran the ball out. And Tony Pollard had 119 yards, a touchdown. They was getting whatever they want on the ground, and even through the air, Calvin really 93 yards on 5 receptions. I mean,
mm.
it's just a bad man. This team is definitely not the team I thought they were when they were like 5-0. Because now
Mhm.
they starting to they might have to get put on fraud watch because
No, they
this
are on
is
fraud watch.
this is asinine in my opinion. Like the Titans are literally clearly tanking, and you lose to them at home. You lost to the Titans at home in a division where you're supposed to just run away with it.
Yeah, this is
Bobby
one of them
Slowick, you
things,
will
man.
not be a head coach next year. I will guarantee that. And whoever
No.
hires Bobby Slowick as the GM, you're getting fired.
Hey, Bears, hire Bobby Slowick. I dare you.
If they
Hire
hire
him.
Bobby Slowick, boy, Caleb should be like, I'm not playing.
Please hire him. Please. I beg you. Yeah, I'm looking at these stats. Will Levis was 18 for 24 passing for 278 yards. I know he threw that horrendous pick six, but besides that, 2 touchdowns. Oh my God. Like quarterback rating of
And
123,
you know what the crazy thing is? Bro, Will
passer
Levis took
rating
8
123.
sacks, and they still won the game.
Yo, that is crazy. 8 sacks is crazy. Wow.
And
Yeah,
I'm saying this
man.
is what I'm saying about the defense. It's an opportunist when they'll get sacks, they'll get turnovers. But like Will Levis was averaging 11.6 yards an attempt. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's
That's a
bad.
first down every completion. What are y'all doing?
Mm-mm. There's nothing, there is no explanation besides the fact that they just offense. It seems like they play complementary football. When the offense is doing good, the defense seems to do good. When the defense isn't doing too well, the offense isn't doing too well. Like it's like they have to have some semblance of both functioning in order to like really do well. If not, then it's going to be very hard for them to win the ball game. And you have your kicker that's been money for the most part this entire season, been
Mm.
bailing them out almost every single week. And now it's starting to catch up to him. Now you can't rely on your kicker anymore. Now you got to actually play ball. And it seems like they're getting exposed. It seems like when they faced us, when they lost to us, it felt like the team started to deteriorate. Like after they faced the Packers, I don't know what it is, but film got out and teams are starting to figure them out even more, and they just can't
Listen, they said if
adjust.
you can stop the run, CJ Stroud, he hasn't been playing as well. So CJ Stroud, he's probably not. It's very few QBs where like, listen, just put it all on me. I got you. CJ Stroud, he showed flashes of it last year, but maybe he's not that guy.
Yeah,
At least in the Bobby Slowick system.
maybe they shouldn't put too much on his shoulders. Maybe they should simplify things instead of uh, having him do too much. Maybe giving him more freedom than he deserves was a mistake. So
Like, I wish I could pull up the third down attempts, but I'm pretty sure he's having to do a lot on third down. And you do not want your QBs to be in third and long every time. It's just a recipe for disaster. That's how turnovers happen. That's how 3 and outs happen. It's just not a good recipe. Like Bobby Slowick, you got to fix the run game. There's no way 14 carries for 22. That's insane to me. That offensive line is horrible, man. Like, Jesus.
And when let me ask you this: when you say he has to do a lot, are you pointing to the fact that maybe he has to change up some things in terms of like just the protection wise, and like maybe he has to audible out of a play, maybe he has to change a route for a receiver or something? Do you feel like that's part of it where he has to do a lot, where it's just like the plays just sucks, like it's just not going to work, and he's trying to figure it out on the fly, like, all right, maybe we should change the protection or something, or maybe he just doesn't know.
See, me, I'm gonna blame coaching before outright blaming the QB. So let me set it up for this. First down, fresh set it down. You on the 30-yard line. All right, boom. We running the ball. Hand off to Joe Mixon right up the gut. Oh, he only gets a yard. Oh, he gets no yard. He may even lose a yard. Oh, now you're behind the sticks on second down. It's 2nd and 9. They're going to know you passing the ball because why would you run on 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10? That doesn't sound very smart. Oh, incompletion. Oh, now it's 3rd and long. So either you're going to try to find something that ain't there, they're going to blitz you because you're going to have to throw 10 yards down the field. So it ain't going to be like you won't have much time to get to the first down marker. So they're going to blitz you, or you're going to try to make something that ain't there. Or they're going to just drop mad people back in cover and say you're going to have to force the ball in a small window. And that's how it happens. I'm a Cowboys fan. I've seen it happen plenty of times with my own QB. Being behind the sticks on 3rd down, it's like, oh my goodness. Now they're about to press to try to make something out of nothing, and boom, interception.
And I think also he's only in his 2nd year, so exactly. I wouldn't want CJ Stroud. I wouldn't put everything on CJ Stroud. Like, I wouldn't say, hey, CJ, I expect you to be able to do this, this, and this, and this, identify this, 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 and that. Like, nah, man, like, yeah, he's supposed to be better in certain stuff, being able to identify certain things, but like, he's not a 10-year vet. He's still developing as a quarterback. And it just seems like right now, he's just not all the way ready, and Bobby Slowick isn't helping him at all, making it easier for him. It just seems like, because he had that amazing rookie year, like he sped up the process when it comes to QB development, that all right, now I can just put more on the shoulders. Like, no, man, like he's still a year 2 QB, man. Like, you're putting too much expectations on him, and it's just wrong. It's just really wrong. Yeah, that's just me. Yeah, that's just me. All right, let's go. Let's go to let's see what we got here. What game could we go to? Let me talk about my.
Let me talk
about my. This will be real. This will be real quick. All right, so Green Bay versus 49ers. Obviously, 49ers, they were beat up. Like, no Brock Purdy, Trent Williams was out, Nick Bosa was out, a bunch of players were out that game. So we did what we were supposed to. When guys aren't playing, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to dominate that game. We scored like 38 points. They only scored maybe 10 points, 8 points, whatever it was.
10 points.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. I wasn't expecting much from the 49ers. I would have been shocked if we kept it a close game, and we won the game. Here's what I'll say that I like from Green Bay, and then we can move on. And I think this is a recipe for success going forward for Green Bay if they continue to do this. And I'm talking about Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has been a godsend for them. Let me tell you this. He's third in rushing right now. I think he has the most rushing attempts in the NFL. Just like what I talked about with Derrick Henry. Rely on the running game. Put an emphasis on running the football instead of being pass happy. I get it. You've got egos. Pride is involved. You have this otherworldly QB with amazing arm talent. But at the end of the day, if you know that the opponent can't stop the run and you're facing a great opponent, you got to keep running the ball. You got to keep forcing whoever it is his hand, because Josh Jacob is a workhorse. Derrick Henry is a workhorse. Saquon Barkley is a workhorse. All these running backs, these special running backs that you can rely on in the running game, utilize them. Don't feel like you have to prove to people that this quarterback that we've invested so much in, we have to put all of this on his shoulders to show people that he's that guy. Like, nah, man. If the game dictates that you need to rely on the running game and the quarterback has to be more of a game manager, that's fine. As long as you win the game at the end of the day, as long as the offense is producing. And this is what I think the Green Bay Packers needs to take to account when they face the Minnesotas, when they face the Detroits, is at the end of the day, that running game, Josh Jacobs, he can be a quintessential X factor to that game. He can be the difference in that game if you rely on him more. And Jordan Love doesn't turn the football.
Yep.
I'm
And
just saying.
I got a question for you, right quick, in regards to pretty much what you just said. These are all the teams that have 8 wins and above right now. So so we got the Lions, Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Vikings, Steelers, Packers, and Ravens. Out of all of those teams, what do pretty much all of those teams have in common?
They run the football, man. They can run the football. I think the Vikings are a little iffy. I think Aaron Jones,
I
he's
think
not the
Aaron Jones, he
greatest
was
runner.
top 5 in rushing yards too, I think.
Yeah, he's they try to run the ball. I don't think he's all that efficient, in my opinion. Just what I've been seeing. Like, yeah, he has been good at times, but he hasn't been the most consistent. He's not a workhorse back, so it's not going to be as easy to run the ball with him. But they do run the football. I will say that they're not like they're one dimensional. They're just throwing the ball all the time. And you're right. All those teams run the football effectively. I just think with Green Bay, they have a gem. They have, in my opinion, a top 5 running back right now in Josh Jacobs, and I think he'll easily make the Pro Bowl. But this dude is phenomenal, and you got to keep leaning on his talent. And I think in order for them to win, in order to beat the Vikings and the Lions, you have to rely on Josh Jacobs a lot more. And that's going to be the difference, because I want to say this before we move on, but against the Lions, the first time when they were in Green Bay, the Lions couldn't stop Josh Jacobs. The problem with the team was Jordan Love was turning the ball over too damn much. The defense was playing well, but Jordan Love, trying to be Superman, try to make something out of nothing when the play was dead, turned the ball over too much, made bad plays. Josh Jacob is the key. Josh Jacob is the key. So, yeah. And also the offensive line is, we have a good offensive line compared to like Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh, their offensive line is pretty garbage in my opinion. When you have a good offensive line, you definitely have to lean on the run a lot more. So yeah, that is my weekly Packer segment. Let's go on to.
I want to talk about.
Oh, where are you gonna
the
go?
Eagles game.
Yeah,
we could go to the Eagles.
Okay, Eagles versus Rams.
This one wasn't as competitive.
Yeah. I was a little shocked that the Rams just got cooked like that. I thought they were going to be a bit more competitive. The Eagles were just dominant from start to finish. I mean, the running game, Saquon Barkley had over 250 yards rushing. He broke the all-time record for the Eagles rushing for one game. He's been tremendous this game. So far, he is in comparison to Adrian Peterson, he has more yards through 11 weeks of the season compared to Adrian Peterson. when he won the MVP and he nearly broke the single season rushing record, which is held by Eric Dickerson still to this day. So hey man, Saquon Barkley, he's having an all-time year, and he's in the conversation for MVP right now. And this game, he solidified himself as the best running back in the NFL right now. And the Giants, oh my God, the Giants, good Lord, just imagine Saquon winning the MVP the year after he left the Giants.
This is a travesty that the Eagles got Saquon Barkley, because that, like, Jalen Hurts didn't even play all that well. Like, he pretty much did his game manager thing, which honestly could suit him moving forward, because I mean he doesn't have to be Superman every game.
What I tell you about the running game?
Like Saquon Barkley, yeah, you got Saquon Barkley, and the Rams, they tried their best. I'll say that much. But yeah, it's hard to stop this offense, man. They got a good line.
What about the defense?
Dynamic playmakers. Hey man, the Eagles defense, they come to play.
Once they got Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, even the linebackers starting to are playing better. Yeah, and Jalen Carter anchoring that D line. I know they lost Brandon Graham for the season with towards tricep or something like that.
Yeah,
so that's unfortunate. But they're still Vic Fangio. I mean, he was looking fraudulent at the beginning of the season, but he got these dudes ready to play now, and I hate it because this the Eagles, and I don't like the Eagles. And why does it always good? What that? I don't even know what to say about these dudes. I hate seeing good teams in my division while my bum Cowboys over here trying to be looking at mock drafts and crap.
Yeah, it's unfortunate just seeing the Eagles continuously finding ways to win and get better each and every year. And Darius Slay, he's not asked to be the number one corner anymore. He's their third best corner right now. So it's just whatever reason, man, the Eagles just continue to find ways of getting better and being back to contention. Cooper DeJean, like he was very much like people were raving about him in the draft process. He could do a lot of different things, and he's been a tremendous corner. He's done a lot for the Eagles so far ever since he finally came back from that injury and is really inserted himself in. Like, 2 rookie corners are making this big of an impact is insane to me. Like, I would never think that 2 rookie corners would be this impactful for a team, and they've been doing great so far, and they look like the second best team in the NFC, and you just got to give them credit on that one. I can't say much about it. And Jalen Hurts, all he has to do is manage the game. He just don't turn the ball over, don't get in the way, play well on third down, and that's that. You don't have to be Superman. You don't have to play like an MVP like you did in 2022, because you got that workhorse in the backfield that's just dominating the game left and right, who's playing like the best running back in the NFL right now. And they just I didn't think they would look this good. I knew they were going to win the division. I picked them to win a division, and they just keep proving me wrong, man. I didn't think they would be 9-2.
Me either. But whatever. So, screw you. I want to talk about a different game. I want to talk about a game that was surprisingly very, very close, and that is the Chiefs versus the Panthers. Man, oh man, this was a red zone classic, in my opinion. Bryce Young, I will say something about Bryce Young. Salute to Bryce Young going against arguably a top 3 defense in the league, captained by Steve Spagnuolo. His genius, all his defensive prowess and genius. Going in there, he ain't even commit any turnovers. I mean, yeah, he was on 21 for 35 isn't the greatest completion percentage, but shoot, you put the ball 35 times in there against the Chiefs defense, you don't commit any turnovers, and you find ways to make it work. He made some really good throws this game. I was like, okay, I see some Alabama Bryce Young plays and flashes happening. Well, that was a really solid game, man, from Bryce Young. I think they need to look at the tape on this and build moving forward and try to feel like they may have found something that works because this defense is no slouch. As we all know, it's a Super Bowl team. They're 10-1, and they got took to the wire by Bryce Young and the tanking Panthers. That's pretty all I
Yeah.
would say. Chiefs, the Chiefs, you was expected to win by like 10 points. I'm not about to give you too much praise for finding ways to win against this team, even though obviously good win and everything. Like he was on the road, obviously, but yeah, man, Chiefs doing Chief stuff. They ain't even have to use devil magic this time.
I will say about the Chiefs, it is a bit concerning that the team just doesn't look as dominant as we normally see the Chiefs looking in previous years. I think I heard a stat. It was like their point differential is like 6 in the AFC, like just 6 in the AFC. Like that's not even talking about you're not even like thinking about the NFC, like just the AFC alone. They have been getting away with playing subpar football this entire season. I will say it was great to see Patrick Mahomes play good football. I mean, it's the Carolina Panthers defense. Anybody could play well against the Carolina Panthers defense. But he was 27 for 37, 269 passing, 3 touchdowns, 120 passer rating. He was phenomenal this game. But it just seems like this Chiefs team is just getting worse and worse. Like the defense is starting to get exposed a lot more. That Bills game, I thought the Chiefs were going to win because the Bills, they were missing a lot of offensive pieces. It's going to be hard for Josh Allen, but they lost the game. And this game, they nearly lost it again. And it seems like just that defense, which was what they put their calling card on, now is starting to really implode a little bit. You
Yeah,
start
the
cracks on
Chiefs.
the wall.
Yeah, the Chiefs. They have the 3rd point differential in their own division.
Wow.
Yeah, the Broncos and Chargers have higher point differential. So
Yeah,
I believe they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, sixth in the AFC for point differential.
and normally when you see teams like this that keep getting by winning like barely, getting very lucky while winning, they normally don't fare well in the playoffs. Like I know the Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowls. They won back-to-back Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Andy Reid is the best coach in the NFL. But when teams look this way and win this kind of way, by the time you get into the playoffs, man, that team just starts to deteriorate. They might win a playoff game. They might win 2 playoff games, but they normally get knocked off before they get to the Super Bowl. And it just seems like the Chiefs are getting to that point where it might be the year. It might be the year somebody might knock them off. But who? That's the question. Who? Because looking at
That
the other
is the $1
teams,
million question.
looking at the other teams in the AFC, I'm like,
It's like the Chiefs, they a different beast in the playoffs, man. They could
are.
sleepwalk as long as they get to the dance. It's like, oh, well, anything can happen to them dudes.
They are. They really are. But man, it's just like this year. I know last year we had our question marks about the Chiefs, but at least we could say, well, that defense is elite. I know the offense isn't all that good, but that defense is elite, and the running game for the Chiefs is pretty solid. This year, it just seems like there's something off about this team. They seem tired. They seem, I don't know, the urgency doesn't seem like it's there as much. I don't know. It's gonna be very hard for them, but I'm not gonna pick against them though. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that again. But man, it just seems like there's more cracks on the wall compared to last year, and that's very concerning for the Chiefs. I want to go.
I want to talk about the Vikings and Bears game, a divisional matchup. I know you was looking for Chicago to pull an upset out for your own divisional agendas. Honestly, I picked the Bears to win this game. This game kind of had upset in my eyes, and it was very close. Game went to OT. Miraculously, even after that onside kick, the Bears recovered. I was like, oh, there's no way they lose, but nope, they lost in OT. And I'll say this: the Vikings, they're a good team. Like their point differential is plus 77. That's usually a sign like you're a legit team.
Mhm.
But something about it, I don't know if it's Sam Darnold, I don't know if it's the defense, but it's just sometimes it's like these dudes, they look so elite at times, but then other times it's like, oh brother, are these dudes even going to win a wild card game?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel when watch it. It doesn't feel much different than the Kirk years. Even though technically this is a better team, it still
Yeah.
feels like I'm watching the Kirk Cousins Vikings. And it's like the Chicago Bears, the defense isn't no slouch. You put up 30, which is pretty solid. But like the Bears, Caleb Williams looked like freaking Pat Mahomes out there. He was doing whatever he wanted to. It was that one play, he's scrambling, he threw like a jump pass. So I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like Caleb Williams looked really good this game, and like the Vikings, like you couldn't get Justin Jefferson involved. He had 2 catches for only 27 yards. I know Jordan Addison had a great game.
He
Had
did.
162 receiving yards, a touchdown. They got Hawkinson involved as well, but I don't know. This team is so conflicting because like the record and point differential and all of that, and the wins, it says they're a good team, but when you watch them, it's like
They can be had. They can be had. That's why you got to watch the games. The statistics don't always tell the whole story. That's why it's important to watch the whole games. Like you look at the stats.
They have the coaching, they have the weapons, they have the defense. Like it's just like I'm not a believer.
No, you're not. Like you look at the stat sheet and you're like, damn, this looks good. Like Aaron Jones had 22 carries, 106 yards, a touchdown. Sam Darnold,
yards,
2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You're like, wow. Like TJ Hawkinson had 114 yards. Jordan Addison had 162 yards. Like you're like, wow. Like man, they got dudes, they got weapons. Like this team is amazing. But when you watch the game, you're like you're letting the Bears move down the field on you like this. I don't know. And then like the other game, they nearly squeaked by against another bad team. Like,
was it the Colts?
No. I think the Colts.
No, they beat the brakes off. They
Lions.
beat the Colts.
Oh no, you're probably right. It
was the Colts. That was it Thursday night football that was?
No, it wasn't on Thursday. Wait, no. They played the Colts.
Oh no, it was the Jags they squeaked by. That was the 12-7 game.
Yeah.
The Jags,
they played the Colts like weeks and weeks ago. Like that was like maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah, man, it was the Jags. They nearly squeaked by against the Jags. So this Vikings team can be had. They can be had.
Yeah. Honestly, if the Packers matched up in the playoffs or something, I'd honestly pick the Packers. I'm gonna be honest.
It's interesting. I will say this about Caleb Williams, though. What they're doing with Caleb Williams is, again, they're not having him like take like these deep, like 7 drop and throwing these like deep passes or anything like that. It's like 1 or 2 reads, if not run. They're not having him go through 3 or 4 reads, go through all his progressions. Like, no, 1 or 2 reads, and a lot of it is quick passes. It's not like he has to wait a long time for the concept to progress. Like, no, they're making it easy for him. They're making it simple. They're making him not have to think too much. And that's what Shane Waldron should have done. But no, he's prideful. No, this is my offense.
And you know what they're doing? They're actually targeting their number 1 receiver now. He had 7 targets this game and 100-some yards too. I'm like, who knew good things happen when you use your number 1 weapon on offense?
Yeah.
And not have him on decoy routes.
And I'm glad about that too, man. Like it's just it gets frustrating when you see a talent in DJ Moore not get involved in the offense when you know he's very talented. I mean, they paid him over $100 million for a reason, and they're not using him. Shane Waldron, say goodbye, dude. You might as well just go to like college or something because you're not going to get a job as offensive coordinator. At least not doing any play calling because what we're seeing right now with Caleb Williams, he was not doing that with you. He didn't look nearly as
maybe
good
for like
as he
one
is right
game,
now.
1 or 2
Yeah,
games,
like
and then
one game, and even that game, he had to go through all his progressions. He had to wait for the play to progress for a long time, and this was against Jacksonville. And like now, he just looks a lot more comfortable. He looks like he doesn't have the weight on his shoulders like he did with Shane Waldron. And Shane Waldron, a lot of the receivers finally they can get involved, like compared to what they were doing before. It's just some things that Shane Waldron was doing that they're not doing anymore. And finally, the offense looks a lot better. And Caleb Williams looks a lot better. And he's finally progressing as a quarterback and not deteriorating as a quarterback. I want to get to, let's see, what other games we got on the Cardinals and Seahawks. See, this whole division.
Seahawks, because I knew what kind of game I was going to get from the Cardinals.
This whole division is suspect. The Cardinals never been a real believer in them. I say this all the time. When you have a subpar offensive coordinator that doesn't really know how to get the skill position players involved outside of James Conner, that should be a real concern, because just like with Shane Waldron, he's handicapping that offense. He's handicapping Kyler Murray. He's handicapping Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, like all these guys, man. And it just seems like every week you don't really know how this team is going to look. They're 6-5, but a lot of that is against bad teams. I was never really sold in the Cardinals. I'm still not sold in the Cardinals. Them losing to Seattle wasn't all that surprising, but I'm not really into Seattle as well. But they won. They were at home, and yeah, man, these are just two teams that are up and down, and Seattle just happened to win the game.
I got a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah, what's up?
Who was the Cardinals' number one running back?
It's James Conner, right?
Yes. And out of 14 rushes, how many do you think James Conner got?
He probably had like 20 yards rushing.
No, this is just the attempts. I didn't even get to the yards yet. Just the attempts. How many?
The attempts
out of 14? How many? Yeah.
How many rushing attempts did he have for the game? I would say probably 8.
He had 7.
Hey, I was close. I'm like 6 points. If they only score 6 points,
8 yards.
Yeah. Good God.
What in the world? What kind of offensive game plan did they come into the game with? Kyler's throwing the ball 37 times. I like Kyler Murray as a quarterback for the most part. I don't want him throwing the ball almost 40 times. I mean, especially against this defense like the Seahawks, they have dudes at corner that are decent or good to very good at corner. I'm not about to trying to throw 40 times against these dudes. Like the Seahawks have not been able to stop the run this year.
No.
So why are you abandoning the run? I mean, obviously it wasn't working that way. Only averaged 3.5 yards a carry as a team. But I mean, dang, something got to shake. It's not like you're going against the Legion of Boom here.
Nah.
Drew Petzing, he's got to go. I don't care what that record says. You got to get him out of here. Because at this rate, you just giving these people false hope. And Kyler Murray, as much as as talented as Kyler Murray, he always has these games where it's like, oof.
Yeah. That was a bad one. We don't want to remember that game. And then like, I've been hearing, oh my God, Kyler Murray's been playing a lot better football. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But when I'm looking at certain stats, I mean, pretty game manager caliber stats. Like, it's nothing to really hold your hat on. I feel like as a talent like Kyler Murray, he should be putting up a lot better stats with the weapons that he has at his disposal. So, like, yeah, cool. I mean, he did go, I think it was 22 for 24 a couple of games ago. He was tremendous. But, dog, like, we need to put more touchdowns on the board for Kyler Murray. Like, I feel like Kyler Murray, he's such an amazing talent that he's being handicapped right now by an offensive coordinator that just doesn't seem to be able to scheme guys open consistently. And I don't think they're going to win the division. I think Seattle is a little bit better than the Cardinals right now, because I just think coaching wise, I trust the Seattle Seahawks more than I do the Arizona Cardinals. And that's just me. So
yeah.
Yep. Real quick, Lions Colts, not surprising. I picked the Lions this game. Anthony Richardson struggled yet again. The Lions were able to run the ball effectively for the most part. They were dominant from start to finish. Let's go Broncos, Raiders. I knew the Broncos were going to win. The Raiders, they're just ready for the draft. That's all they're doing right now.
Ready
They're
for the
ready for
Shador
Shador.
sweepstakes. Yeah.
That's all they're ready. That's all they're worked up for. And then the Chiefs as well, because they tend to. That's like their Super Bowl against the Chiefs every year. They tend to play so well against the Chiefs every year, but every other game they're just a disaster. Let's see. Buccaneers, Giants, no surprise. Buccaneers are better than the Giants. The Giants started Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito is hot garbage. No surprise there. 30-7. And the Dolphins versus Patriots. I mean, I didn't see the Dolphins scoring 34 on them, but I did pick the Dolphins to win
he
at
owns
home.
the Patriots.
They were home. Tua, he owns the Patriots. So we'll see how this Dolphins team looks against the Packers. They've been playing better football, but they're playing bad teams. So their first test against the Packers this Thanksgiving, we'll see if this is just because they beat bad teams or they're actually for real for once and they're actually going to go on a run. All right, that'll do it for week 12 of the NFL season. I want to give our predictions for Thanksgiving first, and then we'll move on quickly to the QB tier list, our updates on that, and then also we're going to the last segment, the salute segment. So real quick, Thanksgiving, this shouldn't take too long. We have the Bears versus the Lions. We have the Giants versus Cowboys. We have the Dolphins versus Packers. The first game on the docket, Bears versus Lions. I'm going Lions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Lions as well. The Bears, they ain't there yet. They just not there yet.
I don't even have to look at the injury reports for these games. I'm Giants versus Cowboys. I'm going Cowboys.
Yeah, unfortunately, they got. I don't even know if Tommy DeVito even was going. They might have Drew Lock out there playing QB for them by Thursday. So I'm gonna go Cowboys. They're gonna mess up the tank even more, but whatever.
Hey, they might as well bring back Daniel Jones.
That ship has long sailed.
I know. All right, last game on the dock. We have Packers versus Dolphins. I'm going Packers. They're going to be in Green Bay. It's going to be 20 degrees, and we know how Dolphins are when it's below 40-degree weather. They shrink, they fold. So give me the Packers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers. But they only have a 3.5. That is suspicious. Why are they only favored 3.5 at home?
That's a good. I think they're probably looking at it that maybe the Packers, maybe guys are going to be hurt. Jair, he's out with an injury. Edgerrin Cooper, he might be out for an injury. So maybe it's just an injury report. Maybe that could be the case. Maybe they like how the Dolphins have looked the past few weeks since Tua has come back from injury from that concussion. So that could be the case. And yeah, but I still have the Packers this game. I would expect them to win. I mean, it's going to be 20-something degrees. All right.
Tyreek Hill on the injury report, questionable. So
yeah. All right. So that'll do it for week 12 and also our Thanksgiving predictions. I can't wait for Thanksgiving. Another great year. And so, yeah, man, I wish the NBA would have some games on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? I know
they not even trying to even look at them ratings to see you ain't competing with the NFL on Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna do. I have
Friday
a theory
game
on something, huh? Oh, the Friday game, Chiefs versus Raiders. Chiefs, no question.
Like, hey man, the way I'm gonna go Chiefs, but I would not be surprised if the Raiders somehow pull this one out.
They lost last year to them too. I think they lost last year. Did they play on Friday? No. That wasn't Friday. No, that was the Dolphins and was it the Dolphins? It was some two teams. I forgot what two teams it was. But yeah, man. Yeah, give me the Chiefs. All right, let's go to QB tier list. Give our updates for the QB tier list. I'll give you mine first, and I'll let you go, Brian. Give you some time to get your list together. So, small sample size. I'll go Tommy DeVito, even though I really do think he's not all that good, but I'll put him on small sample size. He stinks. Joe Flacco, Daniel Jones, Will Levis, Aaron Rodgers, Aiden O'Connell, Deshaun Watson. Bad but not the worst. I'm going to go with Bryce Young. I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to go with Derek Carr. And lastly, Anthony Richardson. Mid. I moved Caleb back up to mid. Caleb Williams is back on mid. Another good week by him. I might put him on he all right. We'll see how he looks against the Lions. Drake May is on mid. Justin Fields, Dak Prescott. I hate to say it, man. I warned him. I warned him a few weeks ago. CJ Stroud is on mid. Sam Darnold is still on mid, and Geno Smith is still on mid. All right, let's go to he all right. Number 3, Russell Wilson is finally making his debut on the QB tier list. Kyler Murray is on he all right. Tua is on he all right. I elevated him from mid to he all right. Kirk Cousins is still on he all right. Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, and Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes has another good week. I might elevate him to he's a dude if he has a really good week. There's only one person on he's a dude, and this will shock you, Brian. Bo Nix is on he's a dude. That is a hot take, but he's on he's a dude. He's been playing really, really good football as a rookie these past 6 weeks. He's him. 4 guys: Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. That's my list.
That is something.
You know what? I change it. I'm gonna put Jared Goff on he's a dude. He hasn't put up the greatest stats in the world, so I will change my list and I'll have Bo Nix and Jared Goff on he's a dude, and I'll just have Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen on he's him.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, a lot of movement, few changes and things of that nature. Not bad. I agree with pretty much what you did with the list for the most part. Don't really have anything that stood out like, whoa, what are you doing? But that's pretty solid. For me, I'm going to. Everything is more so. It's like the top end. The S tier is still Lamar, Burrow, Mahomes. A tier is still, actually no, there was a subtraction from A tier, but I'll get into that. A tier is still Goff, Allen, Stafford, Herbert, and Baker. If you familiar with the list, there's a QB that was there, but he's missing. And that QB to start off the B tier is Jaden Daniels. Had to demote him. He hasn't been playing like he had the first, I'd say 7 weeks of the season. Where he was winning rookie of the week back to back and all of that stuff. So yeah, B tier, it is occupied by Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, CJ Stroud, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Dak, Geno, T-Law. Oh, Tua is now in the B tier. I moved him up from not enough reps to B tier because ever since he came back from that concussion, he's been playing pretty good football. Also, we have 2 more promotions to the B tier. We got Russell Wilson is now in the B tier. We're playing pretty good football for the most part, man. I don't really have much negative things to say about Russ. And Bo Nix, another rookie to join the B tier. Bo Nix, he's honestly probably going to be the front runner for MVP, not MVP, Rookie of the Year, if he keeps this performance up. I mean, he's honestly, the odds are shifting as we speak. As far as hot and cold, it's still Sam Darnold, Derek Carr. Drake May is now in hot and cold. He shows flashes, but due to his talent around him and scheme and stuff, I can't really make any bold proclamations about his output and performance. Fields, Caleb Williams still there for now. If he puts another good game, I'll probably move him up to B tier, honestly. Have a good showing against the number 1 team in NFC. I'll put you on B tier gladly. And Aaron Rodgers. Put the fries in the bag is still the same. Daniel Jones, who is now unemployed. Aiden O'Connell, Deshaun Watson, Richardson, Flacco, Levis, Bryce Young, and DeVito is in the not enough reps category, even though I think he stinks, but whatever.
Wow, you're going to keep
it fair.
Young? Going to keep Bryce Young?
I wanted to put him on hot and cold. I need to see one more game, just one more. I'll move him up if he gives me another solid showing.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's fair. I'm surprised you didn't put Aaron Rodgers and put the fries in the bag, bro. But you know,
The bye week saved them. I'll say that.
the bye week saved them. Okay, all right. All right, man. Well, that'll do it for our updated QB tier list after week 12. Let's get to the final topic of the day. Every week, y'all love this topic. Brian, who do you want to salute this week?
For the week, this was week 12, correct? Yes, the week
Yes.
12 salute segment kicks off with, come on, it wouldn't even be right if I didn't have this dude on here, even though I don't want to do it. Saquon Barkley, 255 yards on the ground against the Rams in primetime, 2 touchdowns, and also 47 yards in the air. That is 302 all-purpose yards, people. That is insane for a running back in this day and age. Number 2 on the list. Number 2, we're going to go all the way to Minnesota and put a guy who, he's number 2 receiver, but he had number 1 performance. Jordan Addison, 8 catches, 162 yards, and 1 touchdown, going against a divisional opponent. The Bears have a solid defense. Jalen Johnson and all those other guys, they're not no slouches at corner, and he was able to put off a great performance. And for the final addition to the salute list of the week, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a duo. The duo is out of Miami, Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle. Tua, 29 for 40, 317 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, people, no interceptions. Jalen Waddle, 8 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown to top it all off. You can't really ask for much better than that against a divisional opponent in a season where you're trying to get back on track. Those dudes stepped up to the plate. That is the salute segment list of the week. Saquon Barkley, Jordan Addison, Tua, and Jalen Waddle.
It was a good list, but I'm a little mad at you right now. You forgot to put my guy Josh Jacobs, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I was considering it. 3 touchdowns, that is impressive.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's pretty damn good. But it's you have a good list, so I can't really front on anything. So, hey, that'll do it for the salute segment.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Next week, I'm gonna try to do first timers only. But if nobody is worthy of a first time entry, then hey, you won't get these repeats.
And you know another person you left off, and he's not a first timer, but Lamar Jackson, man.
I would put Lamar. He only had like 177 yards.
That is true. I will say that. There was Patrick Mahomes. 3 touchdowns, 27 for 37, 269.
Yeah.
But
honestly,
I'm not mad at it.
If the Texans would have won, I would have put I believe it was Danielle Hunter who had like 3 sacks. I would have put him on there, but they lost. So
yeah, first time defensive player
to put on the list.
All right. Well, matter of fact, you know who you forgot?
Who?
I think Myles Garrett. Had a great game. Matter of fact, he had 3 sacks.
He did?
3 tackles for loss. Yo.
Well, usually how the salute it's a little different because we would have addressed that on Saturday in the salute segments, really, because Thursday games we would have addressed all that on Saturday. So usually salute segments like Sundays and Mondays. But you're right, Myles Garrett. He definitely should have been on the list. But listen, you said try to keep it 3 to 4 players.
Yeah, it's your list. It's all good. It's cool. We, that game came and went. It was Thursday night, so we tend to forget. I'll let you have that one.
Yep.
All right. Well, is there anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here? Is there anything else?
No, not really. We covered pretty much everything. Just getting to the final stretch of the season. Fantasy football playoffs is coming up, and unfortunately, guys, the league winner of last year, my man's Aaron here, is not making the playoffs.
You had to remind me, man.
But you know who is making the playoffs? Me.
Whatever. You ain't gonna win the championship.
You don't know any given Sunday. My team is solid, man.
You say whatever you want. Say whatever you want. All I'm gonna say is I was hold this year. The draft didn't go my way. Funny thing enough, a lot of the guys that I had my draft board actually played well. I just didn't pick them. Like Chuba Hubbard was drafted a lot earlier than I expected. I picked by mistake Amari Cooper over JSN or Terry McLaurin. That was a huge mistake. The one where I'm not too mad about, because at the end of the day, it just boils down to just the offensive coordinator is a big idiot, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I couldn't have predicted that. That was out of my hands. You know, I just had a bad pick. Like I had the number 10 selection, number 10 slot. So that was just a bad slot to be.
I mean, I had
number
9 though.
And,
hey,
bro, you had Justin Jefferson, man. You had Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson was on the board. I want to say Saquon was still on the board.
No, he wasn't on the board.
He was gone. Oh, he was gone.
He was gone. He was gone by like I think pick 8.
Wasn't
Jamar Chase was like pick 5 or 6.
He was like yeah. Okay, it kind of was. You could have went Derrick Henry,
bro. Not at round 1.
Why not?
Round 1.
You see what are you doing now?
Man, nobody, bro. I'm not picking a 31-year-old running back.
I picked in the 9 slot, and I have 3 borderline top 10 first round picks on my team.
Right.
Achane, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. All of those 3 dudes should have went in the top first round based on their production.
Listen, for the first time ever, my philosophy failed. All right, that was the first time that my philosophy finally went sideways. This time next season,
what was the philosophy?
First, number 1, not drafting guys over the age of 30. That's number 1. Number 2, drafting a running back early in the first round. I like drafting running backs early. Round 2, I like going wide receiver. I like going young at wide receiver. I don't want to get a guy that's injury prone, like a Cooper Kupp or a Puka Nacua. And I'm looking at ceiling guys. I'm looking at guys that have the potential to be a number 1 at their position, a top 5 at their position. And I thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was that guy, but I was wrong. I thought, hey, got Kyler Murray.
Definitely afraid of drafting rookie position players in the first in the higher rounds. But I will tell you this: if I'm picking 5 or something, and Ashton Jeanty is on the, I'm picking him. I don't care. I will live with that.
He goes to Dallas for sure.
I will pick Ashton Jeanty no matter what team he's on. If whatever round, if I'm first pick of the draft, Ashton Jeanty.
I mean, the reason why I picked Marvin Harrison Jr. is because in recent years, rookie wide receivers have been producing pretty well. Like Puka Nacua literally broke the all-time receiving record for a rookie literally last season. And then years before that, Justin Jefferson as a rookie, Jamar Chase as a rookie. Like we've seen rookie wide receivers come into the season and just lit the world on fire. Like Odell Beckham Jr., we already know about him. And when this guy, Marvin Harrison Jr., is proclaimed as the greatest wide receiver talent we've ever seen since Calvin Johnson, I expect him to be damn near great coming out of the gate. But, you know, the Cardinals had other plans, and Kyler Murray had other plans. So it was just out of my hands. It was just out of my hands. Like
once you seen the draft strategy, they're supposed to work that trade block. But the way our league is, y'all.
I was actually trying to trade with somebody, but we just couldn't. He had so many Bengals players that he didn't want Chase Brown, even though Chase Brown's actually a good running back. He didn't want Chase Brown. So like I was trying to get Cooper Kupp, and
you talk about Giants, Tizo touchdowns.
Yeah, I was trying to trade with him. I was trying to get Cooper Kupp and a couple of other players, and he was like, nah, I already got Burrow and Jamar Chase. I don't want another Bengals player. I'm like, well, hey, there's nothing I can do. I should have traded Jaden Reed, but I wanted to pair him. But it is what it is. I'm not mad. That's my philosophy. I was wrong. I learned. I'm gonna learn from my mistakes. Next year, I'm gonna remember. I need to also study who is the offensive play callers, because a lot of these players are super duper talented, but at the end of the day, if the play caller isn't willing to get them involved, it doesn't matter how talented they are. So that was my mistake, expecting that all of a sudden the play calling is going to be good, like DJ Moore as well. Like he was a victim of circumstance. Like that was my mistake. I'm gonna learn from it. Next year, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get this championship again.
Bold proclamation.
It is what it is, But I won a championship last year, so I already seen what it's like to drink that champagne. So
it's only my second year out here. I think I'm doing pretty solid for myself.
All right, man. Well, that'll do it on this episode of the Courts Happy Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials, and we'll see you all on the next episode of the Courts Happy Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.
Salute. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, man.